Hey, everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Welcome to our show. Tonight is Tuesday, November 12th. We have two wonderful people scheduled for tonight, and they happen to be related, Andy Praskai and Carol Force. Leo, hit that promo.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and my nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am.
So, welcome back. As I said, it's November 12th. So, we are halfway through November. Oh my God. How did that happen? I was talking to Judy today. I'm at Judy's right now. And I said, this year is, it's almost over. It's crazy. This year is really, really, really flown. So, but it's November. It is Scorpio season. Speaking of Scorpios, oh my God, two of our Scorpios just popped on. Lori Towers, thankful for this Tuesday night safe place. Yes, Lori, and we are so happy you're here. Lori's birthday, I believe, is next Tuesday. Am I right, Lori? Oh my God. And Rena Crignali Bergi, whose birthday is it tomorrow or is it the 16th, Rena? I always screw this up. Anyway, Rena Crignali Bergi is my cousin from Massachusetts who I love. I just saw her at a family wedding. We had a wonderful time. And first in, as per usual, is Danielle Alexandria Alchemy. Our friend Danielle is a spiritual medium, a psychic, a healer. She does past life regression. She speaks to the other side. So if you are into that stuff, which God knows I am, and most of our friends, please go to Danielle Alexandria Alchemy.com. You won't regret it. Oh, and I also, as a gift, I gave a spirit animal reading to one of my nieces a while back, and I was just home, and she was telling me about it. She loved it, Danielle. She loved it. So that's great. It's a great present for Christmas. Any of those services are great presents, and you can get all that stuff on her website. Now, Lori Towers and John Pietero, her husband, are music um, documentarians. They are disc jockeys. They are um, radio personalities for Leo. Do you want to pop on and talk about that? It's a WFMU, and I know Leo is a regular.
Sheena's Jungle
Whoa,
Room.
whoa, that shimmy, Leo.
Ooh, it
So
gives you all the good vibes.
every Wednesday, what happens? How do you
Every
find Lori?
Wednesday, on every Wednesday recently, as soon as my cabaret class is over, right? We perform next week, by the way, at 7:30. I'm like, okay, everybody, class is over. Bye. And they're like, what? I'm like, bye. And I'm getting on my phone and I'm going to WFMU.org because I already have it on my computer here. So when I walk in the room, it's already playing. But on the way home, my 5 minute drive, I'm catching Lori and Lori Towers, John Pietero, on Sheena's Jungle Room, Beneath the Underground,
Love it.
on WFMU.org. Every Wednesday from the witching hour, I'm sorry, from 10 p.m. to the witching hour, East Coast, 7 to 10 on the West Coast, where I'm at. And just music of all sorts from the
I love
underground,
it.
from the
I
Lower
love
East
it.
Side theme,
And you
a
know what
little bit
else
of
is great
politics,
about
a
it?
little bit of fun,
Yeah, a little poetry.
a lot of poetry. I love it.
I love it. John is a great writer, as is Lori, and they're also musicians, which is great.
Hmm.
They're our friends. So the nice thing about it, though, for someone like me, who's I work on Wednesday nights, is I listen to it the next day or a couple days later. I can do that's the beauty of it with computers now. You can just find things easily on websites. So please do that. Take note of that.
Yeah,
Rena,
it's been a long join.
oh, the 16th. I thought so. Yes, Scorpios unite. And then when Lynn Porter's Genius joins us soon, she's also a Scorpio. She's the 21st. Lori, are you the 19th? I think Lori is the 19th, if I'm not mistaken. And that is a week from tonight. And we have a couple of Lori's friends are going to be on our show next week.
And I'm
incredible
just letting you guys
musician.
know, Scorpio, that harshness that people think the Scorpio bring is
Yeah.
only a precursor to the Sagittarians, baby.
Oh, that would
Just so
be
you
you,
know.
sir. And you know who else is a Scorpio? Billy Goffey.
That's right. Oh, my
I
Billy.
know. You know, I am putting it out there into the universe. I want to get a show together for Bill for his beautiful photography. Bill is an amazing
Mm-hmm.
photographer. And if anybody knows of a space in the city, sometimes it's a restaurant, sometimes it's a gallery, sometimes whatever. I want to help Bill Goffey get his pictures up. And also, if you want, if you're looking for great Christmas gifts, Bill's photographs are gorgeous, and you can order them from him in time for Christmas and have them.
You know what I like about November, Maria, is that
What
it's
is it?
the month. It's Thanksgiving is coming this month,
Of
right?
course, one of my
And so
favorite holidays.
everyone is really getting prepared with their beautiful spreads.
Mm. Oh, whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa!
sorry.
What the hell happened there? Oh my God! So this is Tom Gold. Now, why is Tom Gold in this position? Because he is a choreographer for the
Mm-hmm.
Tom Gold Dance Company. And what an extension that is. So he's lovely. He's Liz Goldenberg's brother-in-law, married to Liz Goldenberg's brother, David. And he's a great guy. I love Tom Gold. I've been around Tom Gold a few times, and he's always sweet as pie. And I see that you're fanning yourself there, Leo. I hope you cool down soon.
this yeah, I'm at that age. I think I'm getting a hot flash. I think.
Something's happening. So
Ooh,
this is Tom is
ooh.
Mr. November, Mr. Tom Gold, and also go to the Tom Gold Dance Company website. They always have shows around the city and across the country. So go and check him out. He's a beautiful guy, and he is an amazing choreographer, and his stuff is really, really, really good. So we want to put that out. Okay,
Can you
Nancy
imagine the kick
Pissotti.
line? Well,
Oh, I
before we
can.
forget, we've
What?
got coming up. If you want to get next year's calendar, if you're hot to trot, that's
Thank you. So our calendar, 2025, nothing but the apron calendar. And as soon as Bill Goffey takes some headshots of me, I can replace these old headshots, which Bill Goffey took. But I'm a little older than that now, so we have to get some. But anyway, so we have
still
our calendar
gorgeous.
coming up. Thank you, honey. We have so many amazing friends. Yes, we have 12 more. Well, actually more because some months have two,
Uh-huh.
right? So we
Mm-hmm.
have 13 or 14 new people with nothing but the apron. That's all I'm going to say. So if you would like one, you
Your
know,
family, your members, your calendar members, they just keep getting spicier and spicier.
well,
Let me
that,
tell you.
yep. We like to mix it up a little bit. So Nancy Pizzotti, I got the apron, just got to get there. Yes.
Come on,
Nancy,
Nancy.
you are always invited. You can do next year if you like. You can be November if you want. Nancy Pizzotti and I went to high school together. We had a lot of fun. Nancy is an amazing jazz singer. And she also, I just recently saw her. She was sweet enough to come to my dad's memorial. Thank you, Nancy. That was really nice of you. And she brought cookies. So that's a very Italian thing to do.
The
So,
Italian cookies, I
yeah,
love
yeah.
those.
And she was born on Halloween, she says. So that is fantastic. It's like laden with Scorpios right here. And then when Lynn pops in and Billy Goffey, it's like Scorpio night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're glad you're here. It's been a little bit of a ride. We won't get specific, but you all know what we're talking about. And we have two people on that are going to uplift us. We're talking about, right, Uncle Eddie's Greek cookies. Thank you.
Ooh.
So good. So we are going to, we're going to have a great show.
Should we see some adorableness first before
Oh,
we
yeah, absolutely. But we're going to
some really
focus
cute
on
adorables?
the goodness in people and the goodness in the
Mm-hmm.
world. So let's show them. Go ahead.
Let me see this cute little guy right here. How can you not feel good looking in those eyes? Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
God. So
That's adorable.
this little guy, his name is Butch, and he was created in the imagination of our friend who's been on our show many times, Andy Praskai, filmmaker, documentarian, a longtime friend of mine and just a really smart guy. But he told one day he called or texted me and said, "Hey, I'm sending you some books." It's like, okay. And then I got these books in the mail and I was like, what is this? They were so adorable. And when I read them, I got so they're so moving and sweet. So he wrote these books. Our friend Andy wrote 3 books. And
Mhm.
anyway, and who knows how many more there will be. But anyway, so
I've got
let's
mine.
do, yeah, I know you do. Let's do it. Well, let's bring on Andy Praskai.
Dum-dum-dum-dum.
There he is. Hi, Andy.
Un-
Unmute yourself.
unmute yourself, babe.
Yes, here we
Unmute
go.
yourself, honey bunny. You muted yourself.
All right. One more time, Andy. Try.
There you
it
go,
is.
babe.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
Yes, now
There
we
you go.
can hear you. Okay, so Andy, people have seen you before. You've been on our show a couple of times, and you're also a great supporter of the show. So always thank you for that, Andy, because
Yeah.
you're a wonderful guy. We've had many great conversations. Let's get right to it. So, Andy, 3 amazing books about facing your fears. So this little boy, you created this little boy and these beautiful stories. So tell us about the 3 books, Andy. I'll let you do the talking.
Okay. When I was born, my grandfather picked me up out of the crib and he nicknamed me Butch.
Okay.
So Butchie is actually a real person. So I grew up with it with the nickname. Butch was a very popular name in the 50s
Yes,
and into the
yes.
60s.
Mhm.
And my parents always and my friends called me Butchie all the time. So it was always Butchie. Um, so that's where that name comes. So it's not a character that I created out of my head. It's
Mhm.
actually me retelling childhood memories and
Okay.
childhood um, stories that are all true. They're all authentic. The initial 3 books that I've written are all based on authentic situations that I found myself in.
Okay. So the first one, I'm going to put them in order by the dates. So the
Oh,
first one
okay.
is Butchie Was Afraid. Well, the Butchie Was Afraid sometimes is the name of the series, right?
Yeah, it was very important for me in this day and age where there's so much angst and so much divisiveness and so much bad media, and so much hate out in the world. I wanted to allow kids to feel it's okay to express their fears, confusions, and anxieties.
I love it. I love it. This is so beautiful and could not be more timely and so important. And as an educator, I thank you. So the first one is, and Lori Tara says her brother's nickname was Butch, her older brother. So you see, so
Yeah.
the first one, so Butchie Was Afraid sometimes, and the first one is called Butchie and the Wicked Witch.
Yes. That was a very early memory, very early memory. Well, actually, one of my first memories. And it's a true story. It's when my older sister, Pat, who has passed, and we think of her all the time. She and I were watching TV, and The Wizard of Oz came on the TV, and we started watching The Wizard of Oz for the first time. And I never saw, as like a 4-year-old,
Mhm.
I never saw a witch with a green face and all this magical powers. I never saw that before. It was a brand new experience, and it terrified me.
Of course.
And um, I actually had a fight or flight response to that input that I was getting, that
Right.
information I was getting. And luckily my sister was there, but I had to figure out in my head, because I didn't have the knowledge of how to intellectualize what I was experiencing.
Right, right. So, but what I love about this book is that you allow the character to have his feet, it like questions and fears, And then um, there is is it your mom in the book, or is it or the Butch's mom or sister?
That's my
That
older sister, Pat.
okay, that explains exactly what's happening and calms his fears. And
Yes.
what I love about it is that I think we can. I mean, I know I can completely identify with this because I love the Wizard of Oz too. But who wasn't afraid of that witch? So whether it's the Wizard of Oz that you're watching, or anything on TV, or anything in your head that you see, how wonderful to have someone explain that's okay. It's okay to be afraid. It doesn't make you weak. It's just a beautiful. So this is one of the first books. Okay, let's go to the second one.
Well, before you
Yeah,
move on,
sure.
you are spot on about when you said, you could actually, the Wicked Witch, you could plug in. It doesn't have to be a witch. A kid
No,
reading that could plug in anything that a person that they're fearful of, and plug that
absolutely.
character into that, and still go through the process of critical thinking to try to work through the fear.
Absolutely. I mean, for us as kids, it was I remember we would hear the boogeyman all the time. And so I'm
Sure.
sure the boogeyman had different faces to different people and what that was,
Oh, absolutely.
or if you, let's say you saw a horror movie, but you didn't even have to. Your imagination is so much scarier than anything that you'll see. So, but I just love the fact that it acknowledges something that he sees and processes as something to be afraid of.
Yep.
He brings the fear to is in this particular book. His older what was your sister Pat, which I love.
Mhm.
It could be a mom, it could be a
Oh,
babysitter, it could be anybody
yes.
that
Anybody.
helps him. It could be an aunt, it could be a foster parent, it could be a grandparent, and this person, this older person, this adult explains things. The book is so beautiful, and that it's not condescending, it's not
Ah,
too it's not too cute and unrealistic. It's realistic, you
well,
know?
the important part about how my sister handled me
Yeah,
was
there's your
that she was
sister.
she was she was non-judgmental.
Right.
She didn't criticize my fear. She didn't belittle me, and she took that in as something that was information. And she said, of course, as kids do, she says, don't be stupid. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's fine. That's what how kids, brothers and sisters, talk to each other.
Hmm.
But she normalized in the book, and she normalized the whole situation by
Right.
giving him popcorn and letting him just like do something very normal.
Right. He says, "You're not scared?" He asked her. I love that. Like, oh, because sometimes when we see someone older than us, whether it's a few years or, and they're okay with it, then all of a sudden maybe we're okay with it. It's
Exactly.
that trust issue. Now, the second one that I think it's in a row here. Oh no, maybe the second one is the bicycle because it says June 24th. Butchie's Bicycle Secret. And
Now
this one, yeah,
that
go
is
ahead.
that is written for a slightly couple years older than the first Butchie that you just
Hmm.
talked
So
about.
this kid's, yeah, maybe like 11, 10,
Mhm.
11. Yeah. And so, well, I mean, we'll get to both of these books in a minute because we're going to bring Carol on. But I want to, and then the other one is also Butchie Was Afraid, and Butchie Has Scary Dreams. I cannot tell you how much I identified with this as a kid because I was
Really?
that kid. I had scary dreams constantly. And I remember I mean, this book, it was so hit my heart. I had scary dreams all the time. And it was my mother who was so good with calming me down. And but this book is so beautiful and has so much, I mean, it's all about imagination and it's all about your anxiety and about test, maybe. Don't worry. It's really basically don't worry, and it's acknowledging the child's fear,
Mhm.
but saying there's a solution too. And also this is why we all get scared. It's not just little kids.
Right.
And I love this. And we'll get to the bicycle one in a little
Sure.
while because that's
Sure.
an older group. And so when you and I talked about you coming on, which I always love when you come on because there's always something so incredible that you bring. Um, So Lynn Portis Genius has joined us. She is one of my best friends and musical director. She's also a Scorpio, November 21st. So now we lots of Scorpios tonight, Lynn. Now you said to me, how could we have my sister Carol join us? I was like, of course. And then you told me that she was a princess. She was retired, but she was a principal for many years. And oh my God, are you kidding me? I mean, Leo and I both are educators, and a lot of our friends are, but a principal. I don't think we've ever had a principal on this show. This might be the first time. So before we talk about the bicycle book,
Sure.
I would love to bring. Oh, hi Ben Goldberg. I would love to bring Carol Force on, your sister.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Carol. Thank you for making
Hello.
the time to zoom in with us tonight.
I'm so delighted to be here.
And you're in New Jersey, right?
Yes,
Okay,
about
so
9 miles away from Andy.
we are big fans. I'm in Jersey tonight too. I'm at my girlfriend's in Cliffside Park, so I love Jersey. I'm a huge fan, and I believe we were talking about, because I grew up in Massachusetts, which we were just looking. Judy and I were looking at, like, we're all about education, and we were looking at like the list of states that are high in education. And I want to say that New Jersey is number 2 in the country.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
I mean,
Yeah, we're
that
very
is,
proud of that.
and you should be proud of
Yeah.
it. So 2 out of 50. Think about that.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
That is really great.
Mhm.
So Carol, now you said you're retired a few years, right?
10 years now.
Okay. and
Unbelievable.
I know,
Unbelievable.
it flies by, right?
Where did it go?
And you were a principal for how long?
I was a principal for 11 years. And before
11
that,
years,
I was
wow.
a teacher forever.
But you were also a vice principal too.
Yes, I was an assistant principal and then
Yes.
a principal. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, so
So I know Andy's your brother. That's all. But
I adore him.
who doesn't? I mean, who doesn't? But now, don't you wish you had these books when you were teaching?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I was telling Andy, which we call him UB. He got the nickname UB because instead my daughter named him that. Instead of Uncle Butch, he became UB. So
Oh, I love
It was
that.
it was more modern sounding. You know, she's
Yes.
like, oh, Butch sounds too old. We're going to call you UB. It kind of modernizes you.
yeah,
love
so
it.
now he's UB.
UB.
Well,
So
the
I
kids
was-
are all about nicknames, right? So even the
Yeah.
nicknaming a nickname.
Yeah.
So now let's go to you said you worked with teenagers, right? You were in
Yeah, well,
middle school?
I taught every grade in elementary from 1st through 6th, except I never taught 4th grade. But other than that, I've taught them all.
Wow.
So yeah, and then I taught 7th grade in middle school, and then I became an assistant principal and then a principal.
Middle
So
school is rough. I've worked with
Yeah.
all ages. Middle school
Yeah,
is rough.
you gotta love them. You gotta
You
love
have
them.
to, and they're so prickly, right? They're full of emotion and full of fear and just full of I find, for me, they reflected back whatever I was feeling too.
Yeah, yeah. They when I interviewed for the position, the first question they asked is, what quality do you need to be a principal, a principal in a middle school? I said, a sense of humor. You've got to laugh at these kids because they're
You're
all over the place.
absolutely right. They're
Yep.
bouncing off the wall.
Yep.
You're absolutely right. And I mean, I at that age was all over the place myself.
Mhm. Yeah, they
And
are.
I get that. And and sometimes because of that, it pushes your buttons because you see
Mhm.
yourself. I mean, I could speak for myself. Sometimes I see myself in them. Now this one, so now that we have you on, so this third book is called Butchie's Bicycle Secret. And
Mhm.
what this is that Butch is riding a bike and he's
Yep.
doing pretty well with it. And then he sees that his friends, this is Andy, how old is this little boy? He's a little older, right?
He's a little older. He could be anywhere from like 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, that experience could go pretty high.
Right. Absolutely. And so
Especially with with a bicycle riding, because they do that trick riding in the middle school. They're building ramps, they're flying off ramps. So this experience can go way up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now, so what he's enjoying himself, and he's enjoying his friends. They have a lot of stops and then he realizes that they're doing tricks that he's
afraid.
Yeah, he's afraid, and he may not be skilled. What I love, I mean, I love all the books, but what I love about this book is that he makes a decision. He weighs himself now. This is what I love, because, I mean, Andy, you haven't told me any of this. This is just from my
No,
reading.
this is your, yeah. I'm curious to see what you say.
So what I got from reading this series is that by the third one, Butch,
Yeah.
right? Butch has realized that he also has skills when he's afraid. Now he's starting to realize that, oh boy, he's starting to weigh the things out himself, the possibilities. Do I do this or do I do that? And what I love about this book, because now he's he's older and he's making, he's trying to decide on his own, is he weighs out the possibilities and probabilities of both decisions. And I love that. And then he goes with a certain decision, and he also is afraid that his friends may laugh at him, but then he realizes that his friends love him and that real friends don't laugh at you. And I mean, God, Andy, these books make me cry. They're so sweet, and also they're realistic. And I just can't say enough, folks. If you have kids or grandkids, I know a lot of people my age now have grandkids. I have a new, one of my cousins had a little girl this week. Her name is Natalie. So welcome to the world, Natalie. And I am getting all three for Natalie.
Oh, thank you.
Books last a lifetime. People love them. Kids read them over and over and over again. So, Carol, with that said, I know kids have changed a lot over the years, but boys, I always had my experience with boys was I was always very connected with the boys. I felt like girls, it's easier for girls to express themselves. They're chatty anyway. Boys are more, even though they're loud and boisterous and all that, but they're really, as far as emotions, very close to
They don't dig deep. Yeah, they don't dig deep.
So what was your experience, Carol, as an educator with teenage boys, or even
before? Oh, I have so many funny stories. But the first thing I want to mention is when I read these books and we consulted and he'd call me, my favorite time was 9 o'clock at night, because that's when I'd get a message or a text message or an excerpt. And that was my favorite time of night, to spend that with Andy, going through things. But when I read these books, I envision a teacher sitting with a small group or in front of a class, sitting around, and this is a catalyst for that discussion. That discussion of, well, are they going to laugh at me? That discussion, are dreams real? These books bring that forward for a teacher to use as a tool to bring all of these things out in children. And it's very important. Parents can do it at home, of course. Parents should be reading every night to their children at home. But that, to me, as far as teenage boys, they're amazing. They're amazing. They're funny. They're confused. Some stories I could tell on air, some I can't. But I'll tell you one funny story.
Please.
I had 3 boys come to my office, and they were almost a ragtag kind of group. One was tall and thin, one was skinny with glasses, one was a little chubby. And they're in trouble from a teacher who had difficulty controlling a class. And they're sitting in front of me, and I go into my dramatic role. What am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do for this poor teacher. You're giving her such a hard time. I don't have any choice. I have to call your parents. And so the first boy says, Mrs. Force, if you don't call my parents, please, I'll be good for Mrs. Smith. I won't do anything, and I'll get the other kids to be quiet. And the second little boy says, and I'll do the same thing. And please give us one more chance. And he's begging. And we get to the third boy, and he looks at me and he says, I can't promise you that, Mrs. Force. And that is pure middle school.
That's
He
it
just
in a nutshell.
that was pure middle school. He couldn't promise me any of those things they were trying to sell.
He was the
So
most honest too.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, and you know what? He was the most honest, but also he trusted you enough to tell you the truth.
Mm.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
what I get from that. He knew that I can tell this person the truth.
yeah, yeah. And
Right.
I love them. I
Yeah.
love the boys. You know,
Yeah.
I
the
do
boys, if
too.
they argue with each other, they say it, or they'll swing, and it's over.
Over
Girls, it'll last forever.
forever. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like they're episodes to be continued.
yeah.
Like
It's kind of
what I would
sexist to say it, but it's true.
right now, Leo, you
He doesn't like me, and she was talking about me, and now we're not going to be friends. And I can't be her friend, and you can't be your friend if I'm not going to be your friend, and we're not going to be friends.
well, that's what it
Yes,
is.
there it is. That's exactly it, Leo.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Well,
Now,
and I've told them, in my kingdom where I work, we all play together or nobody plays. So if y'all want to just sit down and take a nap, then that's what you're going to be your choice. Otherwise, we can all play together. We can play together. We can be good. I thought you could.
Good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's cute.
Leo, you
Oh
have
my goodness.
nieces as well, right? You have two nieces.
I have one. I have a niece, yeah, that I see every day, but she's not like that. She's very much to herself. She has one friend, and she has learned. She's 12 now, and I think when she was 9 and 10, there was some of that little bit going around, and I think she's learned that I don't like that.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that, so I'm proud of her for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, yeah. Girls are
But she's
complicated.
also got Auntie Leo, I mean Uncle Leo here to tell her.
You mean Gunkle?
Like, you know,
Uncle Leo? Yeah.
Gunkle,
Okay.
yeah. I call myself the Auntie Mame of the family.
Yeah,
And I
well,
just but I
somebody
don't. I
has
let
to
her
be.
know. I'm gonna tell her like I'm gonna tell you like your girlfriends and your gay friends are gonna do when you get older, girl. No.
Don't go there.
And she looks at me
Yeah.
like, but
No,
she knows.
they're really funny. So, Carol, I used to teach at the. I have the sweatshirt on. I used to teach at the Mayo Performing Arts Center in Morristown, New
Oh,
Jersey.
nice.
Isn't
Yeah.
that a beautiful place? So we're talking about New Jersey. I mean, we happen to all be. Except Leo's in California. I'm right now in Jersey, but I live in New York and I teach in New York. I work for a great company called Road Recovery. So now after COVID, and they're great as well. So the so many things are changing in the world, and it's always moving fast. So now kids are like one of the things we talked about before the show is social media is really like so big now. Whereas when I first started teaching in the 90s, we didn't even have an internet. It hadn't been invented yet.
Right.
Right.
So now these books, one of the things that that is a big issue right now, and I do want to just brush upon it without naming names, and also just in general has been for years because of is the bullying element.
Mhm.
And you know, those of us that work with kids and know that it's very delicate, it's complicated, and it's different for every kid and every school and every situation. What advice, Carol, as a principal, as an assistant principal, as a teacher, as a human being, would you give people out there that have kids, whether they're parents or whatever, about the state of the world with the internet and everything and bullying? How do we protect our kids and yet
I
give them?
think.
Go ahead.
Well, I think what's most important is for parents to be aware. That's number one, because if they have their heads in the sand or if they're in denial that my child isn't exposed to this, they're wrong. Because
Mhm.
children are exposed to so much, too much, in my opinion, today. And that what our job is now is to teach them how to live in this world of social media. That's key. They have to learn how to live with a bully. My middle granddaughter, Anne Marie, she ran across somebody who wasn't being very nice to her. And we talked about it one day. I was driving her home from school. And rather than to say, well, it's just her, I said to her, you know, Anne Marie, you're going to meet people like this. And the best thing you can do is not to be unkind, but to walk away and to know that you are better than that kind of behavior. And
Mm.
let her know that this is not an isolated incident. They have to have tools when they meet a mean-spirited person, when someone attempts to bully them, that they have tools. And that's what parents are there for. They're there to support their children. They're also there, and they should be very careful that their child is not the bully. One of the biggest thing I had to deal with, which was disturbing to me, was the not my child parent, the parent that just didn't see. And
Denial.
that's so difficult, because if you can't get that parent on your side to see that this child needs to be corrected and needs education on how to behave and how to be kind, what do we do? I read an article. They think teachers should be wearing body cameras like the police, so they can show the parents what the children are like when they're not around. I don't know if that's necessary, but really, that's the biggest thing, is to make sure that the parents are aware and that the children have proper education on social media, what to look for, the dangers. We always had, that was one thing we did a lot of. We had a lot of speakers come in. We had a computer class that was dedicated to looking at social media, not only for the dangers of it, which were prevalent, but also sources. When you're quoting sources, what's real, what's somebody's opinion. This is what drives society today. I mean, you could read something on social media and think it's real, and it's not. And and so these are the things that we have to give kids tools. It's our priority, and they are. The schools are doing it. They're starting young, and they're teaching the children to be wise, and that's what's important.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, sometimes they're wiser than the parents.
Yeah.
And lots of times, like I've worked in very, very poor neighborhoods.
So have I.
Yeah. And I've worked in extremely affluent neighborhoods. And Carol, I think you'll agree with me that kids are kids. They are not different. Their situations may be different, but their hearts are the same, and their fears are the same. And which, that's why I love these books, Andy, because it doesn't matter if a kid has every opportunity in life or is a foster kid. They are going to have fears. All kids have nightmares, all kids. And I love that this book just is a blanket. It doesn't say anything about Butch's parents, where they live, anything. It just is, a kid's head and heart. And it's important. And another reason I love them is because they are books. And I've done it myself. I'm so far away now because I work so many hours, and I'm so far away from physical books. I listen mostly to audiobooks when I drive. But I said to myself just this week, I'm done with the news. I am done.
Me too.
I'm done. I can't do it anymore.
At this point, who is it? Exactly. Yeah.
But you know what? I said, I'm going to start reading again. That's what I need to do. Get lost in a book. And go ahead.
What's really beautiful about books is that, Carol's son, Jeff, has two daughters, one who's 9, who's going to be 10, and one who's 5. And they have the books, and he reads them to them. And the idea is that they will ask to have it read again, and to have it read again, and to have it read again. So now the message is not just a one-off. It's a message that's being repeated and hopefully maybe internalized a little bit. And that's what paperbacks and real books do. You could revisit them over and over again. And I think that's the beauty part of books and libraries.
And they're excited by reading this book. One of my kids, as soon as I got them, I read through them. I loved them. And then I said, all my second graders, third graders, first graders have to read 20 minutes a night. And Donna, I have some strugglers with reading. They don't necessarily get into it. But overall, everyone was excited. And Donna, who has trouble with comprehension, which everybody does at second grade, right? They just want, I read the words, I'm done. But she liked it. She was like, oh, and I love the way, when she was afraid of the witch and her eyes were excited when I said, well, and then what happened? Well, his sister and got into the details for it. And that to me was the first time that I remember she comprehended like that, which
That
is
makes
big
sense.
for reading.
So
That spells, Leo, that spells my heart, because that is the intent of the books. And there's one other thing, especially Maria, about Butchie's Bicycle Secret, is that there is no enemy. There is no external threat.
yeah,
So this is very important to understand about the Bicycle Secret book. Butchie creates the problem himself. It's an internal learning experience. So therefore, there's no peer pressure. His friends are not peer pressuring him to
right,
take his hands off the handlebars. That's internal.
right.
And he's got the ability to critical think, the critical thinking to say, okay, how do I work through this problem and solve the problem on my own? That's, for me, that is a really important factor in that book.
Now,
And that's an important lesson for children, because whether it's whatever it is, there's so many children, whether it's what they're wearing, is it good enough for what the other kids are wearing, all that stuff.
Right.
If they could
Absolutely.
learn by reading these books that they can solve these problems and realize, no, they're still my friends. That's big. That's big.
Absolutely. Now I want to take a second, and just one of our listeners, Patricia Kilty, who's a good friend of mine from my hometown of Stoneham, Massachusetts. She wanted to know what the books are. It's a series right now of 3 books. And Butchie Was Afraid are the name of the books. And there is Butchie Was Afraid. There's the first one is Butchie and the Wicked Witch. Then there's Butchie Has a Scary Dream. And then there's Butchie's Bicycle Secret. So you have you have many grandkids, Pat, but you also have a great granddaughter, I believe now, Adam's daughter. And so these are perfect books for her age. And lots of our friends from our hometown. So, whether you have a grandchild or maybe a neighbor, a cousins, whatever, just as an educator, these are the most amazing. I love them. Christmas is right around the corner. Now I know a lot of baby showers, what they're doing, because my cousin Nicole, she just had a baby, and in her baby shower, they sent out an invitation that said, if you can, please bring a book. So I knew that you had these, but I wanted, for me, I wanted them special. So we had a conversation about that. But I'm going to send her these. So,
Nice.
It's just important. Go ahead,
No,
Andy.
I just want to let everybody know that I've taken as Red Bank, where I live, and I've kind of gone outwards. I am donating the series to 20 local libraries in Monmouth County. So if anybody's in like Asbury Park or Seabright or Eatontown or Middletown, they can go to the library and pick them up for free if they don't want to buy them. So I'm donating.
Wonderful.
So 20 different libraries in this area will have the books.
Wow, Andy, that's really beautiful.
I'll just
He's
get
so
the word
sweet
out.
all the time.
I know he's
Yeah,
the
I
best.
love
We
you.
love our Andy. Now let's
Sure
take a
do.
moment. We'll take a moment because we do the food section of our show. Carol, I don't know if you
time to
know, but
eat.
we always have a food section of the show. So tonight, because I love to eat, that's like my escape. If I forget about it. So tonight, I'm at Judy's. I didn't cook, but I did get from this wonderful restaurant that I love called Rumba Cubana.
Oh, that looks good.
It's so good. It's in, I think it's maybe Weehawken, North Bergen, and it's Ropa Vieja, which means in Spanish. Go ahead, Leo. Tell us what it means.
Oh no, you go ahead. Tell us. That just sounds so good right now.
Ropa Vieja means old clothes, basically. It's like So what it is shredded beef. Now it doesn't matter. You don't have to be Spanish to make this. There's lots of different versions, but this is like a Cuban dish. I think that Dominicans make it as well. And you don't have to be Spanish to make it, but look it up. Ropa Vieja. I think it's Vieja. And
That looks good.
like shredded beef that kind of is stewed. And this is
Mhm.
red and green peppers and onions and sofrito, which is
Mm.
like spices that are used lots of times in Spanish food over white rice. So that is we're having that tonight. And then for my,
Delicious.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Like once the winter starts to come, I like hearty things. For salad tonight, I made a salad of spinach,
Hi, Sean.
There's
a
Sean.
little balsamic vinegar. Hi, Sean. We love Sean. Radicchio, cranberries, dried cranberries, and we have a little bit of feta cheese in here and some pecans. So I like a little bit of a
Well,
fall salad. I love that kind of thing. And
I was for the cheese, not for the pecans. Just so you know,
I know because
I
you're
love the
allergic to
cheese.
nuts. I know you're allergic to nuts. I love them. And then for our
What
dessert,
leaf were you
right,
using? You said radicchio, right?
radicchio, which
Is
is
that
like
like the
red.
spinach, Maria?
No, the spinach is spinach, and the radicchio is like it's kind of like a purpley,
Mhm.
like a
Oh,
purpley,
okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
Italian, radicchio,
Absolutely.
and I love it. It's delicious, and I like things that are pretty colors, fall colors. Speaking of fall colors, look what I have: pumpkin.
Oh, moon pies. Oh,
Moon pies.
I love them. So these are pumpkin. I got them at Whole Foods.
Oh,
oh,
those look
How
so good.
delicious! Because
delicious.
Thanksgiving's around the corner, so I
Yeah.
always like to have a little fall thing going on there.
Mm.
So that's are you folks doing Thanksgiving this year?
Oh,
Gonna do
yeah.
a family Thanksgiving? Yeah. Who
Yep.
does the
Mhm.
who does the cooking in your family?
Here I am.
I love it. My mother
Yeah,
used to do
well,
all the cooking.
And she sets an amazing table. It's just gorgeous.
I like doing it.
Wow.
I
Oh,
love it.
that's
How many
sweet.
people do you have, Carol?
Usually 12. It's
Oh,
usually
that's a lot of
12.
people.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
big
and
dinner.
sometimes
Mhm.
14, but usually it's 12, And if we know of anybody who doesn't happen to have a place, well, come on. We'll set
Come
an
on
extra
over.
place. That's how
Yep.
we do. Oh, I like it. Oh, look at
This
that.
is Rizzo. She was down there and she's
Oh.
kind
Oh,
of like,
I've heard of, yeah.
pick me up, pick me up.
Well,
So,
here's
Yeah.
Leo. This is Leo. He's been on my, he's been.
so that's
Say hello to Leo.
Oh my
Hi,
God.
twin.
Leo.
And there's Leo.
Leo
So-
has photobombed every conference call for work. So now all my clients look for
Oh,
him.
Leo.
They're like, if I get on a conference call with my clients, they're like, well, where's Leo now?
It's
So
Leo.
he's
I know,
become this
what is it
iconic
about
graphic.
animals? They want
Andy,
to
I'm gonna come to
do-
your house and we're gonna play a trick on them. I'm gonna call on the table.
Yeah, this is Leo.
It's Leo.
I love it. Now,
Awesome.
so let's remind everybody where they can get Andy's wonderful books. Go ahead, Leo. Not the cat Leo, the person Leo. Go ahead, Leo.
It's right there. I've posted it on Amazon. Well, it's on Amazon, and then
Right,
I've
it's-
also
it's-
posted those links in our notes. So if you go to any of the YouTube notes on the show, the Facebook on the show, you can click right there and go straight and get the book.
I love
You know,
it.
Let's get those-
but what I'm really fascinated about, because I didn't really plan it this way, but if you go to Amazon Books and in the search bar, all you have to do is type in Butchie, and all three books pop up. I was
love it.
shocked
Yep.
that happened. So
And you can
That
get
makes it easy.
one, you can get one at a time. You can get all three. I mean, I would just get all three because
Yeah.
then you have them and then, you give one at a time or whatever you
Right.
want. I'm going to give Nicole all three. But
All
I
the
just
cool
think
kids
they're
are getting
beautiful.
3 at a time.
Yeah.
Everybody,
I'm-
so
I-
be cool.
I'm going to tease you two because you're in performing arts. One of Butchie's anxieties was stage fright. So
Mm.
Butchie's going to conquer stage fright in an upcoming book.
Oh my God. I love
I don't
it.
think
remember
should be
that.
Very telling. Yeah.
No, because the
always
Butchie I know now, I don't think has any
Oh,
stage
not now,
fright.
Yeah,
So
not
I
I'm
now.
don't remember that
interested in
either.
this story.
see,
But when I was in
Carol,
pajamas holding a teddy bear, I was scared shitless.
Carol, who's your sister, says she doesn't remember that either.
No, I remember driving you to every rehearsal. I would drive.
Yeah, I did a lot of that. Yeah, I did a lot of that. Yeah, but Butchie did have some fears.
If
Yeah.
Butchie
Cool.
could see the pictures of you at Halloween now.
Oh,
Oh my God. I know. One year we had Carol. We had I almost said Butch. We had Andy, who is Butchie. We had him on with Sean, and they
Yeah,
talked
same
about
person.
the costumes, all the
Oh,
costumes they had created.
their
How
costumes
great.
are amazing. Yeah.
Amazing.
well, as I said, Carol was when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. It was Carol who made my costumes for me.
Is that
Yes,
true?
I did. Yes.
And the
Yep.
very and this is very funny. And the very first costume that I won a contest, we had to go down to the local theater, parade around, and they would give you a prize for your costume. And Carol made my costume, and of course, I was like maybe 7, 8 years old. I was in drag.
Oh my God.
She made. I was an Indian squaw with
That's
a
right.
with a papoose
How
on my
did that
back.
happen?
I
With
don't know
the,
where we even got that idea from.
with the papoose.
With the
I
papoose
love
on my back.
that.
A baby.
I love that. Well,
Detail.
listen,
It's all about the detail. Exactly.
if it
But-
makes you feel better,
My favorite was the
always-
wizard.
Well, the wizard, got us in trouble because Carol decided to use a fabric dye in the washing machine. So we put a white sheet in the washing machine with the black dye to make the fabric dark black, and our mother got a little upset over that.
Yeah,
I can
Oh.
because
imagine.
everything was purple after that.
Yeah,
Oh
everything
my
kind of
God.
Oh, I
Maria.
have such wonderful memories of my brother.
we have great
I'll tell you that.
stories. We have great
Yeah.
stories.
Isn't
Maria,
that
can
the
I make
best?
a mention of
course,
something
whatever
that
you
our
want,
friend
honey.
Andy has been working so hard on,
Please.
and that it's really come to fruition?
Please.
Is that he got Cheap Shots night
Thank
going on video, finally
Oh my
streaming
Yeah,
on Amazon, Google, and iTunes.
This
and
is
and Fandango. Fandango just
And
picked it up, so
Fandango.
we're on Fandango now, or Hulu. Oh, not Hulu. Yeah, Voodoo.
Voodoo.
Yes.
okay. So we
Yeah.
know
That voodoo
Andy.
that
I've
you do?
known Andy for many years, and Andy is a filmmaker and has directed commercials and all kinds of things, of documentaries, all kinds of things of that nature. So to me, the book writing is new from Andy, but these,
Yeah.
we had Andy on with two of his amazing friends that were part of this movie. I love this movie. I saw it at a theater.
Thank you
and
for going. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so much fun. And then there was a Q&A afterwards. But when was this done? When was this filmed? I can't remember the year.
We were in production in 1988 into 1989, which is when we released it.
Yes. And it's so
Oh.
good. And that is,
There's an amazing cast too.
yes. And this gentleman, Louis,
Louis Zorch,
was married to
Olivia Dukakis,
Olivia Dukakis. He's great in it. And
and
it's-
David Patrick Kelly is still on Broadway. He still does. He was just in the Sondheim Into the Woods. He was last year. He was, and David Patrick Kelly has such a following.
Yeah.
He's, everybody who thinks of David Patrick Kelly thinks of the Warriors. Warriors, come out and play when he's
Yeah.
clinking the bottles.
Yep.
So
He
It-
played
it's-
he played the dad though, right? In Into the Woods, he's playing the old man. Right,
yeah, that
narrator?
narrator, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's got one of
And,
my
Mary-
favorite
Mary-
songs.
Mary Louise Wilson, who I think is still alive, has to be one of the most
She's amazing. She's amazing.
prolific Broadway actress. She plays Dottie, which is Louis' wife in Cheap Shots. So Mary Louise Wilson, who's an
She's
amazing
great.
Broadway actress, is in that show.
I saw her in Grey Gardens.
Yes.
She was
Okay.
mind blowing. I saw it twice. She
Yeah.
was mind blowing. I love this movie so much. You have to see
Incredible
this
cast.
movie. It's
Yeah.
called Cheap Shots, and it's so
Right.
good. And Leo, you have they can. How did they? That's on Amazon. It's on Fandango. It's on just just Google it. Cheap Shots.
Yep. You
It'll
go to
come up.
cheapshots1988.com and you can get all the links of everything that you need right there.
John Pietero, you would love this movie. You
Oh
love
yeah,
this movie.
definitely.
Absolutely. Okay, so we are. This hour has flown by. We're
Yeah.
coming to the end of our hour now. I always ask my guests to leave us with words of inspiration because this is a show celebrating creativity and the creativity in each other and what we can do to make the world a better place. So I'm going to start with you, Carol. What words of inspiration would you give to people that are maybe really stressed out right now, maybe creatively stuck, maybe feeling a little hopeless? What words would you give them of encouragement?
Well, I think what I would offer is what I'm doing for myself, and that is focus on the positive, focus the change you can make, focus on helping people. Focus on pride and the pride you have in your family, as I do for that brother of mine there. And, that's the only thing we can do. We cannot wring our hands and say it's over. It's a matter of what we can only control what we do and what we need, what we think and what we feel. And at this point in my life, I'm choosing to focus on the positive and to be grateful for everything we do have.
I love it. I love it. I needed that. Andy, unmute yourself, my friend, and give us some words of inspiration.
I'm going to quote two people, and I think it's especially the first one, which came from Franklin Roosevelt. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. We can get through anything if we're together and we think positively, we act positively, and we care about one another. So fear only drags us down. So we have to not fear. The second one is for those who are out there creating art, creating music, creating anything. A long time ago on early cable TV, there was a designer, and he had a catchphrase, which I love, and I still tell my clients this. And he used to say at the end of the show, where there is fear, there is no creativity.
I love that.
Those are my two quotes.
I love that. Leo, would you like to throw something in?
I'm going to go off of Carol's statement. You got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative.
Yep.
Focus on the positive.
Yep.
Focus on the positive.
You know what? I was today I was just feeling this. I am someone that is always watching, looking, investigating, just doing all this research. And I have decided to just make my world smaller instead of bigger, instead of going out. Because I'm always, my mind is always in that place of like, I want to know more. I kind of want to know less right now. I need to know less.
I agree.
To calm myself down. And what that means is going back to what you said, Carol, I want to be around my family, my friends, people that I love, people that get me and I get them. And I'm going to, for a little while, make my world smaller.
Yeah, it's called circling your wagon.
Right.
That's great. Yeah.
And I'm gonna read again, which is gonna be really good for me. The last few days I've been coming over to my girlfriend's a lot, and her house is very calming, and she has 3 dogs, and I have a dog, and it's like, you know what, this is nice. I don't have to do much else. That's where I'm going. And
the dogs are great for you, Maria. They're gonna feel so much energy, and they just, you got Rizzo. Dogs are just so loving that way.
Yeah, dogs are the best. And they always
all the animals. I bet you they're looking at us humans, going like, "Wow, they're really stressed out right now."
I know, and I know. I'm sure, and they don't know. You know what else I thought of? Animals have no idea what's happening on the news. They just love you, and they love who they love. And you know what? I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to love who I love. And I'll give you this piece of advice without being decisive. Just say, it's okay to set boundaries too. This is a great time to say, you know what? I love you, but I can't talk to you right now. And that's okay. You don't have to tell people that. You can just think it. I'm creating a boundary right now. I got to protect myself. There's nothing wrong with that. And
it's self-love, Maria. It's self-love.
You have to. It's self-preservation now.
Yes,
so Leo, Andy, and Carol, I cannot thank you enough. This is our first show back. We skipped last week because of the election. We took a week off. We're back now, and this is our new cycle in a new world. And let's keep going. Let's take care of each other, stay positive, and do what we can do. And that, like what Carol said, there's some things you can change, some things you can't change.
That's right.
So thank you, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
I mean this, Carol. You're welcome back anytime. Let's do
I would
this
love
again.
to come.
Let's do this again, okay?
Yeah, I want to hear all those stories about Andy from before you guys come back.
Oh no. I won't be on that show.
Are you kidding? This is Mr. Charisma. He lights up a room.
Oh, we're big fans of Andy. So once again, folks, go and check out Butchie. Butchie Was Afraid, and you just type that in to Amazon, and it'll pop right up, and you have all 3 books there. Andy,
Really.
God bless
Thank you so much for
Carol,
having us.
love you
Bye,
already.
Leo. Bye,
And we'll see
Maria.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Carol.
you, everybody.
I love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday. Same back
Smooches.
channel. Bye.
Smooches. Give Sean smooches for us too.
We will. All right. Bye.
Bye.
And then